of your problems. All right. I hope now you all can see the compost picture. Please type yes in the comment if you all can. Okay, moving ahead. So one of the problem a lot of us face is the problem of smell. So that can easily be solved by researching and knowing the proportion of carbon and nitrogen ratio in the compost bin. For this, we need to read a little more about the science of composting. Next, for all those who have space problem, I would just say,
hello, Prakriti.
Yeah.
Could you just could everyone just give us a minute? Yeah, please to continue.
Now you all can start this. You all can see the screen. Okay. So for all those who have problems for composting, composting requires only 1 to 2 square feet of space. That can either be a small space in your balcony, in the grill, anywhere. And lastly, the time. Managing the time is essential, and here it only requires 20 minutes in 2 days to manage your compost. If we all invest 20 minutes of our day to compost, imagine how much amount of kitchen waste will not end up in the landfill. So here are simple steps how you can start composting. First, you can take a container, maybe a mudka, plastic container or anything, and make holes in it. Then add a layer of dry leaves. Finally chop the kitchen waste. This will ensure the degradation of the waste will happen quickly. Then add some neem oil or leaves. This will prevent the pest from attacking the compost. Add some soil. This is again optional, but this is very important to add a curd or a starter culture. Now, for those who don't want to invest in a starter culture and buy it from the market, you can simply add curd or dahi in the compost. And finally, cover it with dry leaves and cover the top layer of the compost with a solid lid. Finally, with all the efforts, one can achieve a compost in a month or two. And this is how we can simply solve the problem of composting. Moving ahead, there are various other type of waste that we generate, and that's why I would request you all to ask these 4 questions before you buy anything. Now, the first one is, here it's important to know the difference between the need and our wants, because then only we'll be able to buy less stuff and try to live a minimal lifestyle. Then also we need to be aware whether we are blindly following a trend or do we really need that product. A little research on other environmental friendly alternatives or products that have less carbon footprint will make our lives easier and also help the environment here. And finally, before buying anything, I want all of us to ponder upon this question and think what will happen after the product is completely used, or what will happen if it ends up in the landfill. Here we see plastic. Now, plastic is a very, very big problem. If we notice, around 400 tons of plastic is generated per day only in the city of Mumbai. And Mumbai is one of the top leading cities where so much of plastic is generated. The major issue is because in India, 40% of the plastic is not even collected, let alone it being recycled. So, how on an individual basis can we take measures to reduce the waste of plastic? Firstly, we can simply stop using single-use plastic because it's one-time use thing and it directly ends up in the landfill. Next, we can definitely switch to long-lasting materials. Now, cloth bag or a metal bottle, all of these we used to carry a few years back, but the moment plastic came into our lives, it created a havoc, and that's the reason it's time to switch back to reusable products. Then sometimes we all feel like eating outside, don't we? And that is when you can say no to single use plastic. And maybe at such places you can carry your empty dabbas or plates. It will be awkward initially for you, for other people, for all of us, but if one person starts this, other people will follow it. And lastly, since many of y'all, we are professionals going to college or maybe offices or anything, we can start carrying our own dabbas. Now this will help us maintain our health, it will help save a lot of money, and finally prevent a lot of waste ending up in the landfill. Now this is for the days when we feel like eating outside. So those times we sometimes order food online or prefer taking takeaways. This one time convenience of taking a parcel or ordering food online, we don't realize how this waste ends up forever in the landfill or anywhere. Hence, it's time we take some time out of our daily lives when we want to eat and go out and eat, dine in, because many of the restaurants or cafes, they still use reusable cutlery. Now, here is an interesting thing. We all have become a prey to this online ordering. So, if I would say that if the product is not available in local stores, then it is definitely okay to go and order online. But if it is, we should learn to go step out of the house and buy it from the local stores, because this will not only prevent the pollution that is caused to transportation of the product, but also a lot of packaging waste here will be reduced. So these were few tips on how we can prevent the plastic waste generation. And finally, how do we reduce waste generation in general? We can start buying in bulk. Next, we can switch to essentials which produce less waste. For example, it's tissue paper has become a very integral part of our lives, but we don't realize this is like a fact. But around 17 trees are cut and 20,000 gallons of water is contaminated only to produce 900 kilograms of tissue papers. So it's time to slowly stop using tissue paper and switch to cloth and handkerchief wherever possible. Moving on, uh, okay, essentials. Now, occasionally, when we go outside for shopping, we end up buying a lot of commodities that don't add much value to our lives. They look attractive on the shelves, but they also end up in the landfills. And there, I'm pretty sure no one finds it attractive. So, hence, we must pay attention on what we buy. Also, it's investing in long lasting products. For example, electronics that are energy efficient, that last for a long time. We can start going and we can go ahead and buy these products in future. Now, this is a question open to you all. Has this ever happened with you? Please comment in the chat box if so. Has this ever happened to you? Yes, yes. Okay. So this is it's a very common thing, because the moment we step outside to shop, we end up buying a lot more than what we need. Now this mainly happens because of two reasons. One, either we forget to carry a list, or we deviate away from the list which we've carried. And next, the products are displayed in such a fashion in the store, we end up looking at the newer ones while the essentials actually hid behind in the shelves. So if we see something new, we feel ki chalo let's try. But these affects affects our pocket, and lastly the environment. So before I wrap this up, this is one practice I feel that we all should start following right away. I hope you all agree to this. Thank you.
follow this sustainable living? So just type below committed or not sure if you are committed towards sustainable living. That's amazing. That's great. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say that, okay, we all are committed toward this. So thank you so much. Now, moving on, to make your resolve more firm, I'll be talking and taking you through mindful living. So, what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is basically one where we achieve a mental state of focusing on awareness on the present moment without judgment. And guys, the key here is that we pres- have awareness on our present moment and have no judgments. With that, mindfulness simply being to be aware about oneself in different ways and in different areas. And to that, I like to ask you guys a few questions. And here is a poll question for you, which is shared by Caden. Please take some time to answer these questions. Okay, Caden, I would like you to present the question result. So, guys, we spoke about how are you feeling today, and oh my God, there's more. There's a lot of 100% people saying that you feel sad. And how is your health being? Energetic. That is really great. Good to hear it. So, thank you, Caden, for this. So, what was the purpose of this poll? The purpose of this poll was ask yourself if you have asked these questions up until now. Let me know in the comments that if you have asked this question right now to yourself or you've been asked, have you asked it before? So let me know if we are aware right now or we are aware late. We just got to know it later or we knew it. So, okay. So someone has got a different poll. All right. So to sum it up, I would say this poll was for us to know. All right, guys. Okay. There seems to be an issue with the poll, and I'm sorry, extremely sorry. I'm not able to get a full screen of the screen I'm sharing. So the questions I asked was, how are you feeling today, and how is your health today? So I had got a result of saying people are sad and that they are feeling health wise energetic. So take a moment to ask this question to yourself if it was not visible on the poll, and that's completely all right. We will move on to talking about, since we are talking about awareness, I wanted to know if you were aware about what you were feeling and how you're feeling physically as well. And since I'm guessing this is the time you guys have, we all have actually, are questioning our current state. We'll move on to what awareness is in three forms that I'm talking about: body, mind, and surrounding. So let's move on to how can we be mindful or how can we be aware in terms of our body. Currently, we are all pretty much following a great hygiene thanks to COVID-19. Let me say that. But here is something that I want to say, that form a routine not that extends beyond your hygiene. Like take some time out, 10 to 20 minutes, where you do something that makes you feel good, that charges you up and pumps you off for the day. And also, it could be simple thing like making a to-do list, or writing 3 things that you are grateful about today. Or while you go to sleep, note down things that make you feel that you are excited about to do tomorrow, or to be working on tomorrow. That will help you focusing on the better things. Now, when I say that we need to charge ourselves up, we need to keep ourselves charged all throughout the day. So eating healthy forms an important part of it. Now, let's see how can we be mindful regarding our mind.
Okay.
Am I audible and can everyone see the screen?
Yes, Mona Lisa, you're audible.
Okay, okay. So that is quite a bumpy meet that we are having, but I'm so glad you're still sticking through. So let's just follow the journey till the end. Now we were on to mindfulness of our body. I told you about how can we form a routine, and how we were on how eating healthy. So well, we know we all are living in a lifestyle where it's very difficult to get over junk food, right? So let's just take small steps and start lessening the portion of the junk that we consume, and slowly head towards eliminating it, because food is after all, we are what we eat, right? And we want to keep ourselves charged all throughout the day. So eating healthy will enable us to do that. And lastly, exercising. Now exercising doesn't have to be something real rigorous, or some great workout or something. It can be taking a stroll around. It's just the body to know that it's still functional and it is fulfilling its purpose. Moving on, can everyone please mute themselves? Okay, so moving on, let's see how can we be mindful regarding our mind. Now please don't get shocked by reading meditate. I know uh, we only know yoga as meditation, but there are there are numerous other forms of meditation. Since we all are beginners, let's just use this form of meditation that I'm just going to share with you. Like, sit in a comfortable place, in a comfortable position, and close your eyes. Since we all are beginners, it's easier for us to focus on breathing. And now, since we are going to focus on our breathing, try and let our thoughts pass, which is difficult to do, but not impossible. So, once you do that, I'm pretty sure you have there will be countless thoughts in your head, and you won't be able to focus on one single thing or focus on your breathing. Take some time, accept your thoughts, and do not judge. And when you find yourself investing too much time on what you are on a specific thought, tell yourself consciously that you have to come out of it. You have to be in the present. Lastly, acknowledge. Acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge your emotions, what you feel, because there's this important statement, okay? Let that thing sink in. Emotions are part of you. So, is my screen visible to everyone? I just, yeah, please write on the comment that if it's visible or not. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. So, emotions are a part of you and you are not part of them. Let that statement sink in. By that, we continuously make this statement, and this is very common error. I think this is an error that we do, saying that I am sad today, or I am angry, or I am happy today. Are you equal to sadness, or are you equal to anger? Are you equal to your emotions? I guess no, right? Emotions are a part of you and you are not part of them. So make sure you consciously tell yourself that you notice that you are feeling sad or happy or angry, that you are feeling that emotion and they are a part of you. With that being said, acknowledge them and move on. With this, if we practice and do not judge any of your thoughts and also any situation or any kind of uh, thing or anyone, that's very important when you are being mindful. And with that, let's move on, extend this to our surroundings. This is something that we've been doing as a child. It's a mannerism that we are taught to, not littering, switching off lights and fan when not in use. It's basic thing to use our resources wisely, knowing when it is not in use, it should be stopped. Also, one important thing is we all love to, I'm assuming we all love to trek and trail, and biodiversity rich areas are an amazing delight for us. So, and they have a specific path, right? Make sure you don't go as much thrilling and adventure it is to stray away from the path. Do not do that. Doing that, we are just disturbing the micro habitat in that place. With that, I would like to end this mindfulness session saying that we are in the age of digital media. There are information, datas, contents everywhere, and we are consuming it every second. Be conscious, be aware, be mindful of what you are taking in, because that shapes your thoughts, shapes you physically, and also that extends to your surroundings and how you keep it. Thank you. So now, since we talked about mindfulness and about being healthy, we move on to how can we be healthy by growing our own food. Over to you, Prakriti. Thank you.
Thank you, Manalisa. So now we spoke about a lot. Our lives are incomplete without food, and food is we know we saw above how kitchen waste and food waste is one of the biggest waste problems in our lives. So how do we go about that, and how can we help make our lives more sustainable? It's simple. Firstly, we can start growing our own food. Now, I know it's difficult in a small city, like in a city like Mumbai, where we stay in small spaces, but we can definitely try that. And secondly, knowing what is there on our plate. I will start with growing our own food. Now, for all those who don't really know how to grow, and for them space is an issue, they can start with growing microgreens. So microgreens, they don't occupy a lot of space. You can reuse any old containers, and it's one of the things that grows very quickly. Also, I like to call this a chota packet pada dhamaka because they are very, very rich in nutrients. So let's see, how do we grow microgreens. Firstly, take any empty container, make holes in it. This is very important to make drainage holes in the container. Next, sow the seeds in the coco peat or soil and sprinkle water in it. After a few days, you will get the seed germinating. Now, uh, for those who don't have the growing media like coco peat or soil, it can also be grown on tissue paper, and it grows pretty well. This is I would like to talk about whenever seed germinates, we see a set of leaves that come out. Now these leaves are not the true leaves of the plant. They are mainly there to sustain the plant, so the plant starts the photosynthesis process. In a few days, the plant will start growing true leaves, and that is when you can chop off the microgreens and harvest and eat it. So it's very simple. Please go and try this at home today itself. Now, next, uh, for those who are actually interested in growing their own food, they can start right away. There is no tomorrow in growing your own food. So for this, research is one thing. Start researching in what kind of foods that we can grow initially as a beginner. Then there are a lot of communities, a lot of groups who are already doing that, who are already doing this. So we can join these groups, and the compost that is being produced can be directly used here. So we can prevent adding chemical fertilizers. And also, because we stay in Mumbai and we have a space conjunction problem of space, we can use a vertical space. We can start growing food like cucumber, bottle gourd, the beans like French beans, cluster beans, because these plants mainly occupy vertical space and they are very good for beginners as well. So please go ahead and try this. Now, this is an important thing because as gardeners, we start with a lot of enthusiasm, but then we fail. We see flowers coming in the plants, but then we don't see it becoming a fruit or a vegetable. And that is where a person is discouraged and stops right there. I would request, please don't stop there. Rather, look out for what the problem is, and then continue and solve the problem. Now, this is a question open to all. If we start growing vegetables and fruits in our garden, why should we grow flowering plants in our balcony? Please type in the comment box. Um, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's right. So we mainly do this thing to attract pollinators. So these are three simple plants that we can grow in our garden to attract bees and flies. It's very easy to maintain also. Sunham, basil, which we can grow Thai basil, lemon basil, or sweet basil, or maybe all of the three if we have space. And lastly, mustard. This is straight from our kitchen, so I don't think this should require a lot of time and investment. Here we can, so when we start growing our own food, we will feel responsible for what we grow, and that way we will not even think of throwing away the waste sometimes, so throwing away the food that we sometimes end up doing. And lastly comes this step. Now, to know what we eat is very, very important. As a person who is trying to be sustainable, we should know that in today's time, meat is one of the most polluting thing in the polluting thing. Why? Because of industrialization. Now we are producing a lot more meat than we actually need, and that is leading to a lot of emissions, deforestations, and increasing the global house gases in the atmosphere. So I'm not saying stop eating meat, but we can all pledge to eat meat on some days. Like in India, we have a we usually follow, right? Maybe शनिवार को नहीं खाएंगे या तो Tuesday को नहीं खाएंगे. So on a few days, or maybe you can become a weekend meat eater. So this way we can eat less meat, consume more of the veggies, and we can help ourselves in the environment that way. Finally, I would like to conclude my part by saying that all of this is time consuming, and all whatever we've shared is actually tedious, but we can take one small step at a time. Thank you. I would request Ms. Monalisa to take over from here, and she'll be talking about eco-friendly products.
Okay, hello everyone again. Uh, Firstly, I hope you can see my screen. Yeah. And well, so how many of you know about eco-friendly products? I'm pretty sure it's a very popular term nowadays, right? So now, what are eco-friendly products basically? So, what are they and why? Science that I think you have seen or you are familiar with. So let's start with the Energy Star. So all of these eco science, and they are divided into 16 or more categories. Here you can see about Energy Star. Energy Star is for electronics and telling us how efficient the energy utilization of the of the device it is. Then you have Cradle to Cradle. It's for industries and production areas which tell you about what how the product is made and what will be the end of it. Like it is going to be or just thrown or how it can be used. So it is disposed in a eco-friendly way, or it is disposed back to nature with a zero impact to environment. Then you have fair trade, which which certifies that the trading process handled with care and are not have with certain chemicals or that are not used there. And there are countless others. Well, this is Ecomark, that is a Eco label of India, which was made in 1991 and was used in 1994 by Tide. I'm sure everyone is familiar with Tide detergent, and Tide had launched a detergent, or I don't know what you say, that after you wash your clothes, you just use that a chemical that is easy, or we have a lot of such, right, stain removers and fragrant ones. So that if you are aware about easy detergent from Tide, that was given the eco mark in 1994, but that was lifted up quite after 1 or 2 years after this tide was handed over to someone else, ownership of it. Now this eco mark is given over 16 other categories all around. Okay, this is for textiles, for other for textiles, for so stationaries, and etc. So with that, we come, when is it this mark awarded? This mark is awarded when a product is sustainable, it is biodegradable after use, or it is reusable, and even with the packaging that it comes in is recyclable or reusable in some form. With that being said, lastly, I would like to give a note of concern that we need to be aware of greenwashing. Now, as you can read, what is greenwashing is just, it's a branding strategy of something, that products that have been saying that it's eco-friendly or it's doesn't have any impact over environment, falsely claiming to have those things. And most recent example, or most common example, is this bag. I'm pretty sure we all have this one at least in our house, right? Comment below if you've seen this bag at least. If not, you're seeing it now. Well, so this thing is a greenwashing. It is used as without respect to uh, plastic. We do not use we use this instead of plastic bags, but this is also made of plastic fibers, and there are countless other examples as such. So with that, I would like to end this session on eco-friendly products. And this is just a tip of the iceberg, guys. If you have any more queries, this alone can take quite a lot of time. So if you have any more queries, do reach out to us. Over to you, Anushka.
All right. So we've shared with you right now 5 different ways in which you can commit to a better future. So you can either choose to adopt minimalism. You could either be conscious of the waste you generate, and even ensure that what kind of products we use. We can on a personal level, we can choose to learn to become mindful. We can even grow our own food, or even, and lastly, we need to learn we can learn how to ensure that the products we buy do not fool us, because even if, I mean, we should not be fooled by greenwashing. Now all these ways, I mean, you don't have to adopt all 5 ways all at once. Uh, you can adopt some steps according to your own lifestyle. And it's important that you choose to start making a change in the way in the way we all live our current lifestyle. Because we need to remember that, from the environmental perspective, like if we look at what happened like we are just recovering from a cyclone that has been that then even the news has been telling us it is caused because of the climate crisis. Earlier on this year, we lost a lot of uh, uh, forests in Australia because of the forest fire. So as a planet, we've lost a lot already. But now, I mean, right now, we need to start taking action, and I mean, start taking action for a better future. So with this, I'd like to open up for any questions if you have. So please do write down your questions in the comment section, in the chat section. Sorry. Do we have questions?
anyone wants to ask anything, they can even unmute and ask themselves, but only one at a time.
I think there is no questions by the participants. So okay, it was a great presentation. Yeah, there is one question by Dr. Vidhi. Anusha, can you answer to the question?
So, all right. So, okay. So, when it comes to plastic recycling, the pre lockdown, we did have contacts of people, but right now we will have to. There are people in the city who do plastic recycling, but we'll have to. Ask them again whether they'd be willing to take away the plastics for recycling, because a lot. We've kind of lost a lot of the the major segregators in our society have gone. We've had the mass exodus of the migrant workers. So right now, if you're we literally have to go back and ask the organizations for whether they still do collect plastic, because most Raddi collectors have stopped collecting plastic as of now.
Even I would like to add something here. So for plastic collection, there are a few companies and organizations which collect them. Even Bisleri has started this movement called Bottles for Change. They collect plastic bottles and waste. Even Sampurna Earth, as of my knowledge, and Dalmia Polypro, these are a few companies that do collect plastic waste. And as well, for the MLPs, that is the multi-laminated plastic, like the chips ka packet or any biscuit packet, these Safai Bank is the one who collects it. But post lockdown, we don't know what the situation will be. So you can definitely get in touch with them and inquire. Thank you. Anything else?
Hello. Yeah, thank you, Prakriti.
Yes.
On behalf of the participants and our college, I would like to thank Greenline for such a thought-provoking workshop. You've highlighted so many ways in which our detrimental impact on the environment can be reduced. I would like to extend our thanks to Maxine Almeida for helping out and coordinating this workshop. A big thank you to our hosts and speakers this evening, Anushka, Mona Lisa, Prakriti, and Kaden. I'm sure that we all have learned how to forego a wasteful lifestyle to become a budding minimalist, a smart consumer, and a mindful human being. Let us focus our energies on reducing and reusing so that we live sustainably instead of always buying into our wants. I extend my sincere thanks to the faculty members for their contribution in the organization of this event. Last but not the least, I thank all the participants for showing their interest in the program. Let us all make a pledge on this World Environment Day to improve the way we live. Thank you, everybody, and have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.